Hey everyone, welcome back to Possible Audio. Well, a feller got on Face Marketplace and found the next project, the Marantz 1060. This thing looks pretty good. The vinyl wrap has a little scuff right there. It's not a big deal. And actually it shows up more on camera than in real life. I don't know if I'm going to do anything about that. But the top looks really nice. It's an A and an R, I think is what that is. I have no idea. But it looks good. I mean, it's a 9 out of 10. There's a few light marks, but it's not bad. No folded over corners. I mean, this unit's been cared for. It's obvious. All right, let's look here at some of the functions. We got our loudness button. That's like nitrous for sound. We got our tape monitor. We got our mono. These stay out most of the time. Mono. So I never use them. And over here we got our mic input. We got an aux 2. And I believe the way that works is on our selector. If you put it on mic, this goes live for a microphone because you can do your little karaoke act, you know. And then we got aux 2. And when you put it on aux 2, these turn into inputs, that's what I understand. And if I'm wrong, let me know. I'm sure you will. Phono for our record player. We got tape. We got our tuner input. We got our aux 1. And you know the nice thing is if you need a second aux on the rear and you don't have a tuner, a separate tuner, just use that. It'll be just fine. We got our bass control, mid control, and treble. We got our volume. And then right here we got our balance. And I used to wonder, why do we have balance? What's the point? Well, in my listening room, I have a wall on the right and some furniture. And on the left side of the room, it's kind of an open area with a hallway. And I notice if I put balance right in the center, then it sounds like I'm getting more volume out of the right speaker. So I have to turn the balance slightly to the left on my main system, and then it sounds balanced. It's awesome. Okay, so we got our low filter and high filter. Then we got our main speaker input. We got remote speakers, so you can have 2 sets of speakers hooked up to this. I don't know if that means you can play them simultaneously. Couldn't tell you. You might have to research that for yourself in the manual. And we got our power button, got a blue illumination light, and stereo phones for your headphones. Not headphones now, these are stereo phones, okay? So that's what the front looks like. Oh my goodness. Ignore my sinuses, allergies. Okay, so these are the input RCAs on the back. They look good. I don't see anything strange going on. They're just dirty. This is an interesting connector that never really caught on in the industry. I believe that is like the combination of these 4 on the right, the ins and the outs are all for one cable. And that goes to the to our reel-to-reel deck. I believe that's what that's all about. And then we got our ground for our phono, for our record player. Then we have our original jacks to connect our preamp and amplifier boards. These jacks are crazy expensive on eBay. I don't even know why. Yeah, some call them jumpers. We can just call them jumping jacks. That's fine with me. All right, and then we got our binding posts for our speakers, and these are fully operational but dirty. And that's another item. You'll see these snapped off and damaged, and some people upgrade them to banana plugs, but we're not going to do that, or at least I don't plan on it at this point. Underneath it, we have switched and unswitched power supplies for like a record player or a DAC or whatever you got plugged in. And we have our fuse, goes right in there. And then we have our power cord. So that is the rear panel. And it looks good. There's the Marantz tag. And this thing is in such good shape. And here's a beautiful shot of the power cord. It looks good. It looks undamaged. It looks like we'll probably just clean it and leave it right where it is. All right. My heavens, look at all that. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's the inside of it. That's what it looks like in there. All right. Briefly, let's go over. We got our transformer. About just takes your voltage out of the wall and brings it down and sends it out to some other wires. So this is our P800 board. This is our main power board, and it's got 4 power cans. Those are electrolytic capacitors, but I'm going to call them power cans. And we got a couple of one-way diodes. We got a transistor. We got a few resistors. And then moving on over to our preamplifier board. Oh, look, it's a date. Right there, 1/8/49. Or is that 48? No, that's a 9. It's kind of hard to make out, but yeah, that's a 9. So that means in Japanese yearage, this was made in 74. And I don't know if it's going to be August 1st or if that's January 8th. Somebody I'm sure can tell us in the comments. And here's our preamp board. All the orange ones, those are audio grade caps. The gray ones are power. The purple's power. And of course the big output films, the green ones, dark green ones. We're going to leave the dark green ones, but we're going to replace all these other power caps. And if you also look deep down in here, right here, we got a transistor here, and we got one here, and we got one here and here. So that's 4. And over here, we got 4 more. And if you look at this, this is interesting. The board is, if you split the board, one side's for the left channel, whoop, left is that way, and right is this way. This is the phono board, and somebody's already replaced 5 of the power cans. What are these? What brand is that? Xicon. So cheap power cans from China. I mean, you know, we don't want to get too crazy. You know, we don't want to spend 15 cents on a power can when we can spend 4 cents on a power can. So anyways, we're going to replace all those. And we're also going to replace these transistors that are on the board as well. There's one on each side. We're going to leave these big, ugly brown ones because word on the street is they sound really good, and replacing them makes it worse. All right, we got our large caps right there. We got a, what is this, 80 volt at 4,700 microfarads. We got a 55 volts at 3,000. Somebody else has worked on it, and let's check it out. I believe technician Hackworth has pulled out some of the finest work he does. First, he's replaced every power can with a nice high-quality Chinese placement. All right, looking down here, way down there, we got a blue resistor. That's the wrong size. And he's also replaced some other 3-legged dogs on here. So we're going to have to go through this board. Let me show you something about these switches. These are really cool how they work. Let me get you in here. See, it's got like a pen that rides in a groove. See how that works? And they're lubricated to keep them working well. See? They're a little dry. Actually, they're quite dry, but we'll fix all that. This one is extremely dry. Like, it's starting to catch. And I don't know if you've ever seen pictures of some of these old units, but you'll see the button pushed in, and then you'll see a dent in the end of the button cap where they've taken an object and jabbed at it to get the button to unlock and continue to work. But eventually it just gives up and it locks in. We're going to take all these switches and we're going to disassemble them on both sides because they're so easy to get to on this model. And we're going to properly clean them, lubricate them, put them back together, and they will work just like new. All right, here's the screws for the bottom plate. Screws, there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. There we go. We get our plate off. Here's the bottom of the undercarriage. It's so nice the way that they design this, because getting to the controls to clean them or replace them if they need replacing, I mean, compared to like a Marantz 2245 or 2270, this is easy to work on. There's the power switch. There's the bottom of the, that's the power board. Everything looks good there. And here's our preamplifier board. That looks good. I don't see anything going on there. This is our preamp board. It has been, it has had a few of the power caps replaced, 5 of them. But if you look down here, there's where I believe a lead went through, and I think that maybe he stretched across. I don't know. We'll get into that, but somebody's, I don't know if that's right or not, but we're going to figure it out. Bottom of the 2 smaller power cans. And here's the bottom of the amplifier board. And if you notice that square resistor, I don't think that that's factory. See, the rest are all round. Yeah, the soldering is, okay, we'll make this better. Oh, see that blue resistor? That's not factory. There's been quite a bit of work done on this amplifier board, but that's okay. We're gonna fix all that. Even though it has had technician Hackworth in it, it does work and it does function well. So I'm gonna go straight to cleaning. Look how dirty it is down in there. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do. So that's a brief overview of the project. Go pick you up some great value brand disinfecting wipes. Lemon scent, that's an added bonus. And do not flush these down your toilet. It says so right there on the can. You're gonna need a chopstick, and we're gonna start cleaning this up. That's gonna be video number 1. So thanks for being here. You guys are awesome, and I hope to see you in the next video.